Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Danelle here at Networkchain. Today we're going to talk about decentralized finance as Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency industry continues to grow and develop. I think it's very important that we have an understanding of some of the optionality that comes with blockchain technology. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about decentralized finance, also known as DeFi. So basically DeFi is coming for traditional finance and in ways in that you will be able to, or you can actually transact peer to peer without the need of a third party like a bank, for example. So if you read here on Investopedia, it says that decentralized finance is an emerging peer-to-peer financial system that uses blockchain and cryptocurrencies to allow people, businesses, or other entities to transact directly with each other. So the key behind DeFi is to remove third parties like banks from the financial system, thereby reducing costs and transaction times. So some of the key takeaways when it comes to decentralized finance is that it's an emerging peer-to-peer system. It consists of cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology, and software, which allows people to transact financially with each other. And then it's also still in its infancy, so there have been hacks, unfortunately, and thefts that have come from using decentralized protocols, and a lot of that has to do with the newness of the industry, lack of security, and things of that nature. So it's still definitely a risk using decentralized financial applications. So you definitely want to do your research if this is something that you're interested in getting involved with. But it continues to develop, it's continuing to emerge, and it's continuing to get better and better over time. So one way that DeFi works is by using blockchain as the distributed and secure base layer, which provides the security layer when it comes to decentralized finance. So if a transaction is verified, the block is closed and encrypted, and another block is created with information about the previous block and information about newer transactions. So this blockchain is distributed and it's on a ledger, so anyone is able to see what's happening on the ledger. Most blockchains, I should say, there are blockchains that are private as well, but most blockchains are open on an open network, and so it's transparent. So you're able to see exactly what is happening on the blockchain. And actually, it's important, particularly if you are transacting peer-to-peer, you can see when the transactions between you and another entity or another person is when the transaction actually goes through. You can see that on the ledger. So for example, with Bitcoin is an open decentralized network. So if you are sending someone Bitcoin, you will be able to see the transaction using the blockchain ledger and being able to see the ledger and know the transaction going from one wallet to another wallet, and it's logged on the blockchain. So there's a lot more technicality to it. You can read more into it from here, as well as there's many other places you can learn a little bit more about the practicality of using the blockchain as well as how it works. It can be very complicated, but there are ways to learn a little bit more about blockchain. But basically, you can understand that it is the security layer of decentralized finance. So there's a ton of different applications that are built on top of the blockchain, which basically it's designed to communicate, as you can see here, with the blockchain, allowing people to use their money for purchases, loans, gifts, trading, or any other way that they want without using a third party. So let's look at some of the goals of decentralized finance as well as some of the actual applications of decentralized finance. So you can see here that DeFi allows for accessibility. So there are people around the world who do not have access to bank accounts. That's why Bitcoin is becoming such a worldwide phenomenon, because it allows a person who has an internet connection, who has a cell phone, the ability to be their own bank. So it basically provides that autonomy that sometimes is not available to a lot of people around the world. So it gives you that access, that opportunity, that autonomy to be able to do what you want with the Bitcoin or the cryptocurrencies that you have. Also, it has lower fees and negotiable interest rates. There's security and transparency, as we mentioned, being on the blockchain provides security. Smart contracts basically allow for a contract to be made between two parties, and it will only move forward only if certain conditions are met. If they are not met, then the transaction will not go through. So there's a lot of interesting ways that we can use smart contracts. Ethereum, which is the largest smart contract platform right now by market cap, basically began this smart contract platform. SCP is another term that is used. Solana is also another well-known and popular smart contract platform. So now there's a lot of competition for the best smart contract, not only for speed, but also for security and being able to scale, because at the end of the day, we want to be able to have access to blockchains that are very secure, that are very fast, and offer low fees and quick transactions and transferability, as well as transparency. You can also see here, we talked about autonomy. DeFi platforms don't rely on centralized financial institutions, so the decentralized nature of DeFi protocols mitigates the need for costs and administering of financial services. So what are some of the examples of decentralized finance? Decentralized exchanges. So instead of having to go to a brokerage like a Schwab or Fidelity or Robinhood or Coinbase, you can trade peer-to-peer using exchanges like a Uniswap or a PancakeSwap. There's a bunch of other decentralized exchanges as well. We'll go through an example in a moment, but you can basically connect your wallet to an exchange. Once again, it's risky, so you want to make sure that you learn and know as much about this decentralized exchange that you are considering. Jupiter is another really popular one on the Solana blockchain. Also, you can be a liquidity provider. A lot of these exchanges, decentralized exchanges, would like to have access to as much liquidity for the trading back and forth as possible. So you can actually get a bit of a fee, get interest back for providing liquidity on a particular blockchain, on a particular exchange. You have lending and yield farming. You can actually lend out your cryptocurrency if you choose. If you want to be able to let someone else borrow your crypto, that you will also be able to get obviously a fee. So you basically, once again, be your own bank, literally be your own bank. Then you have a gambling and prediction market. So there's a site like Kalshi or Polymarket where you can, once again, connect your wallet, use cryptocurrency to be able to make different types of bets and use the prediction market, which is growing every day. It's very big it's gotten really big, I should say, over the last couple of years. And then, of course, NFTs. There was a huge boom of NFTs in 2001. And now we're seeing that we're definitely in a major bear market when it comes to NFTs, but that's another way that you can use DeFi to be able to trade non-fungible tokens back and forth from one entity to another. So one of the examples for using decentralized finance is Aave. Aave is a platform where you can take out loans. If you have, say, a certain amount of Bitcoin and you want to be able to loan against it to buy a car or to do certain lifestyle things, you can actually put up your Bitcoin and be able to receive a certain amount of USDC or Tether or some other cryptocurrencies if you'd like, to be able to use however you so choose, and they hold on to that Bitcoin, for example, that you put up until you repay the loan. And if for whatever reason you are unable to pay the loan, once it gets to a certain level, then they can take out from that Bitcoin that you provided in order to take out the loan in the first place. So Aave is a place that you can go just to kind of peruse and have an idea of some of the opportunities that you can have when it comes to decentralized finance. So once again, you can, as we talked about, provide liquidity. You can lend out your cryptocurrency, or you can borrow against your cryptocurrency. So there are a lot of different ways that you can use a platform like Aave as well. Polymarket, as we mentioned, is a prediction platform. So there's all different types of bets that can be made, basically related to what's going on in pop culture, what's related to what's going on in sports and entertainment and business and finance. So there's a lot of different types of bets, you can see, from all these different areas, from culture to tech to the economy, world news, all types of things that people can bet on. So you can basically link up your wallet and put up your crypto if you'd like to get into the betting markets. And we mentioned NFTs. OpenSea was and is still one of the more popular NFT platforms. Here you can see this is another way that you would connect your wallet and be able to trade back and forth different NFTs on the market. And then Hyperliquid is an example of a blockchain that you can use to be able to trade back and forth using a decentralized exchange. They have a decentralized exchange called Hyperliquid. As you can see, they have low fees. You can actually use leverage. We don't suggest doing that. Learn as much as you can before you even consider taking anything out on margin, doing leverage, things of that nature. And so one-click trading, as you can see, no wallet approvals to interrupt your flow, but you got to be careful, obviously, with that. So you want to make sure you learn as much as you can before you even consider getting involved with decentralized finance. But we just wanted to have a video just to basically give you the general tenets behind decentralized finance, where decentralized finance is going. It's still in its early beginning stages, and it's continuing to grow, obviously, with the stablecoin market continuing to grow as well. And we saw that Circle, and we talked about it in our last video, has now gone public on the public market, and a lot of different banks and other institutions are interested in potentially using stable coins to be able to transact back and forth with their customers, as well as amongst one another from entity to entity. So there's definitely a lot to come when it comes to decentralized finance, when it comes to Bitcoin. So we're just trying to pass along the message when it comes to emerging markets, and blockchain technology is definitely one of those emerging markets that are definitely making a mark in traditional finance. So thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate you, and we look forward to linking up with you again soon on the network chain. Take care. Bye-bye.